Welcome to the Road to Recovery. We focused on Rhode Island food and drink. I'm your host, David Dadekian. I'm the owner of Eat Drink Rhode Island, here in Rhode Island, obviously. And with me today, I've got a great panel of local food and drink business owners. We've got John Sgambato from Yacht Club Soda, Kate Kennedy from Wright's Dairy Farm and Bakery, and Amber Jackson of the Blackleaf Tea and Culture Shop. Thank you all very much for joining me today. I appreciate it. So the Road to Recovery, we're going to be a short series talking about how the COVID pandemic has affected your businesses and how we're going to, slowly work our way out of it as time goes on. Thankfully, we will see some improvements and things getting better as time goes on. But clearly, we're still right in the midst of it. And I wanted to talk to each of you as a business owner. The reason I thought about who to have on was Amber, is a relatively new business owner. How long's the tea business been?
It's been a year and a half.
Year and a half. Kate is with a farm in North Smithfield, Rhode Island that's been around for a while. Which generation, Kate? Fourth?
I'm fifth generation.
You're fifth, okay. I'll let each person tell you a bit more about their business. And then John's business, Yacht Club Soda, has been around 105 years. So we've got some variety in the business here. So why don't we start with each of you giving a brief introduction and tell us a little bit about your business. And we might as well stick to that order. Amber, why don't you start us off?
Sure. So thank you for having me here. Once again, I'm the owner of the Blackleaf Tea and Culture Shop. It's been around for a year and a half now. I started it back April 11th of 2019, really to use the space to start my own business, to establish some kind of financial independence from my full-time job, but to also fill a void that I saw that was here. I'm from Chicago, and I moved here for work, and what I noticed immediately was the lack of diversity. And so I wanted to use my love for teas to create spaces and create conversations for people that look like me, all while having a great, delicious, healthy product as well.
Thank you. I had some tea this morning myself, so thank you for that. Kate, tell us about Wright's Dairy Farm.
Sure. So we're a fifth generation dairy farm in North Smithfield, Rhode Island. At our core, we're a dairy farm, and that's how we started. And that's all we pretty much did until the 1970s, 1980s. And that's when my grandparents decided to actually get rid of our home delivery route and open up a farm store here at the farm. And at the same time, they started developing bakery products to sell along with our milk. And that's kind of where we are now, is just we've grown and evolved from that farm stand model. We have the cows at the farm. We have our farm store. We have a bakery. And about probably 75% of our sales right now come from home base. And because of COVID and a couple other things, we've been expanding into wholesale and off-farm sales. And then our newest venture is ice cream.
I was going to say, you didn't mention the ice cream.
I forgot the ice cream.
Yeah. My kids and I love going up to the ice cream there. Thank you. John, tell us about Yacht Club.
So we're a 105-year-old soda factory. We've been multi-generational. It's been in my family since the early 60s, and my family has had a presence there since the 30s. It's just something just born and bred in Rhode Island. We try to keep the state involved in everything we do.
Yeah, that's certainly true. I think if people know the sodas, the labels are all reflective of Rhode Island destinations. And so you're based in North Providence, North Smithfield, as I mentioned, for the dairy. And Amber, you're in Providence?
Yeah, I'm in Providence.
So let's start with the, let's try and be upbeat, but I know it's going to be, a little difficult at times. Let's start with how things have been for the last, 7 months, since mid-March when this has all happened. What have you seen for lack of business, changes in business, difficulties, that sort of thing? And Amber, why don't you just kick us off again?
Yeah, sure. So initially, like I said, my business is fairly new, and I've always been an e-commerce business, which greatly benefited me once the pandemic hit. So I already had the system set up. My customers that I did have were used to purchasing my products online, so that was great. But it's kind of bittersweet. So I've had my most sales my sales skyrocketed actually during the pandemic. But the issue was operations, where before I can order ingredients and be processed in like 2 days and then be here next week. When the pandemic first hit, business was still relatively slow. I would have a sale maybe once a week. I would sometimes go weeks without sales. So it's very hard for me to gauge what the demand is for my tea in my business. And so I have, my inventory was set to the demand that I had. And then when the pandemic hit and with all the racial injustices and the multiple list of Black-owned businesses and Juneteenth, business skyrocketed, which was great for the inventory that I had. Now, once inventory was gone, it was gone for a minute because it took over a month just to get ingredients. And so from an operations standpoint, it took a very long time. And I use specific vendors just because I aim for high quality. And so I wanted to make sure I stuck with that and where I'm able to provide a great product, but still be conscious of what my standards are for my business and my product.
That's an excellent point. I know, Kate, we'll come to you as well for this question, but I know, John, you've had some issues with supply chain as well, yes?
Oh yeah, it's been a big problem. Everything that I used to be able to get in a week or 2 weeks is now, I don't know when I'm going to get it. So basically, I've had to increase inventory by about 250% just to make sure that I can maintain sales when and if they come. We don't know what's going to happen in the next couple of months, but I'll have plenty of stock or inventory to keep going just because I had to plan ahead. And again, it's all overhead that we have to deal with right now. So we're putting out more money and we're not taking in as much. So it's we're just living in a new world. We're trying to figure it out.
And how have sales been?
Summertime was good. Walk in to our factory store has been really good. We've seen an uptick. But my wholesale with the restaurants, which is a huge part of my business, is, it's in half or less. And that is definitely hurting. So, wholesale is down a lot, retail is up, but it's not making up the difference.
Right. And Kate, are you seeing, like some, John and Amber said, and I've heard this from a lot of local businesses, people are buying more local. So how did the last 7 months affect you?
Yeah, I would say like lockdown and how we were in lockdown is, a totally different scenario from where we are now. Right now, we're seeing about 15% decrease in our walk-in. Well, not walk-in. We're doing everything car hop, so our store actually isn't open. We're servicing about 4,500 customers a week through a strictly car hop system without anyone coming in, which has been great, but it's taking us twice as much labor to get anything done. Our labor is through the roof, very similar with supply chain issues, making sure we have what we need. Luckily, our cows are here, so we don't have to worry about that. But yeah, it's like we've had to reinvent the wheel. So everything we do, it's just taking us more time, more energy, more effort to be where we want to be. And right now we're looking at Thanksgiving and Christmas, which are our two biggest sales holidays of the whole year. And how are we going to do that with car hop? And we've been spending a lot of time focusing on that for sure.
Right. Yeah. No, I can't imagine labor-wise that's an easy thing to deal with. You've got a great parking lot system and everything there. I was up there just a few weeks ago, but like you said, the labor it can be difficult. So that's the supply side of it. On the sales side of it, are the customers? Is it new customers, old customers? What have all three of you been seeing? Are you gaining a lot of new customers and holding on to them, or how's that been for each of you? Kate, why don't you head back to you?
Yeah, I would say our kind of tech savvy customers who come here weekly and know the drill have really stuck in with us, and they're here every week and they love the system and they know how to order. We have a lot of older customers who just don't want to have to deal with the pre-ordering and using a phone or anything like that. So they're kind of like, we'll see you when the store's back open. And I would say our biggest thing that's changed on the sales side is that we're wholesaling a lot more. We had been growing our wholesale milk route for 2 years prior to COVID. And luckily we had that infrastructure, we had the truck, we had some of the customers. We don't focus on a lot of education or institutions. So when the shutdown happened, most of our wholesale customers are grocery stores, and they actually saw a huge uptick in sales. So we've been able to offset some of our retail sales loss with wholesale, but we're still, down from where we were last year at this time.
Sure, and it's fascinating when you think of different products. John has the opposite effect with wholesale, but yeah, dairy is more of a necessity, I guess, when it comes to grocery. Amber, how about your customer base? What have you seen?
It's mostly new customers. And at this point, like I said before, I have maybe one sale every other week or so. I have consistently at least 3 sales every day. I make national sales, so I've gone as far as Hawaii, Alaska. I'm consistently making sales in Cali, Texas, Colorado.
Fantastic.
So it's worked well that way. It's just a struggle for me to maintain, once again, because of operations and inventory. And also I still work full time and I own operate alone. So every blend, I design all my blends myself and hand blend myself. Every package that's made, every delivery package that's this prepped, that's all me by myself. So it's sometimes can be a little hard to manage. I just kind of have to force myself to, just get it done, no matter how stressed out I may be. But I will say, even being a pandemic, at the beginning, I had a little extra time just because I work in collegiate athletics and there are no athletics right now. So I had a little bit of extra time where right now I'm kind of getting back to work in a different aspect on campus. So my time has become a little more limited again, but I have definitely seen a huge uptick in wholesales. I recently started doing virtual tea tastings. And so it's another way for people to kind of be up together apart. I guess a lot of companies are trying to find ways to engage their employees virtually. So I've been getting a lot more of those, but definitely more on the wholesale side. And the everyday sales have incredibly increased. It's just more of an issue of operations in my personal time.
Right. Well, and also, being a new business, everyone, we all make projections and, 5-year plans and things of that nature. Has this completely thrown it into chaos, or your projections actually seeing what you want?
It's still a mess because, like I said, from the beginning of this, it's like, okay, I can see kind of where this could possibly go. But in the year and a half that I've been in business, it's constantly changing. And I tell people all the time, like when I first started my business, people were like, yeah, just start writing your business plan. No, I to this day, I do not have a business plan. I have not written one just because my business is constantly changing. And so where before it was just, I would do some farmers markets at Hope in Maine in the summertime. And I was kind of not really focused as much on my e-commerce business and now it's just like, so like e-commerce, I get asked often to do markets. I'm just like, no, because at this point, it just doesn't make sense for me to even potentially expose myself to COVID when I'm doing incredibly well online. So I kind of get to the point, it sounds a little cocky, but it's kind of like, well, I don't do it because I don't have to, but I don't do it anymore because I don't have to anymore.
Right. Well, it's what makes sense for your business.
Yeah. So
that point, John, I know you do farmers markets, but you're not going to do them for the winter. You told me.
No.
So, how do you see the sales and the customers?
Well, sales in general, I'm off from last year, and especially if I wanted to go with projections, this year is way off. We were cranking in January and February, like no other January and February in my history. So, God knows what we really lost. But sales-wise, like e-commerce, we started our website, drop shipping all around the country. I picked up distributors in the Midwest and in California, so we're shipping out bulk orders to, just trying to make up what we lost here. But it's still not the same. Right.
So now you and Amber, you both ship all over the country. Kate, do you do any sales outside of Rhode Island, or is it primarily the Rhode Island, Southern New England area?
Primarily Rhode Island. We do ship our hermit cookies nationwide, which we've seen a slight uptick just because I think more people are going to our website and seeing that as an option. But we are looking at shipping ice cream pints moving into the holiday season. So we'll have 4 specialty flavors for November and December, and hopefully we'll have all that squared away to start shipping.
Nice to hear. How has shipping been? Do you feel it's been, again, problematic, or, obviously it's a helpful side of the business for the sales, but the shipping itself, is it a difficult process? Kate, do you want to start?
Oh, I don't think I'm the best voice for this. We've just started, so I'm here to hear what you have to say.
I know when I've ordered it, it just shows up in the mail, so it works for me.
I mean, it really depends. Like right now, I have noticed in the past month, shipping times have slowed down a bit. Where before I could ship to Cali and it'll be there in like 3 days. Now it's taking almost a week. I have one customer I'm trying to fight with USPS now because I shipped it September 22nd and it's still not to her more than a month later.
Wow.
And very rare cases like that. And it's just like, okay, I know I operate with high integrity. And I always tell people like I do my best to give Chick-fil-A like customer service. So I try to work as fast as I can. And even in spaces like this where it's out of my controls with another vendor, I do want to do my best to make sure that I get to that person as soon as possible. But in general, I had to buy a printer and I now use ShipStation just because there was when I first started doing shipping, I was writing labels by hand. And it took so much time and my hand would hurt so bad. Writing labels one by one. So it's just becoming smarter logistically. And also I charge a flat rate for shipping and then orders of $30 or more is free shipping. Just because to go one by one and weigh and do it per right. ounce, it's just too much. And so it's just, but also being considerate of, well, that's your time. And that's also making sure you're actually covering the shipping as well. So things like that I definitely had to take into consideration, especially with the virtual tea tastings, because it's a package that helps the whole box. And so also I would say as a business owner, I have a much higher appreciation for other businesses when they charge shipping. Like as a consumer, you think, why is shipping so high? But no, shipping is expensive. And so I'm saying that as much as I was afraid at first of deterring customers because of shipping rates, but that hasn't seemed to be an issue just because people are understanding like, yes, shipping is expensive.
Yeah. Well, it's also interesting, you're shipping tea, which is a relatively light product. In John's case, for people who don't know, John's shoulder there, but these are glass bottles, and generally people buy them in quantity, right, John? I mean, it's not shipping for you.
We sell 12 packs as shippers, so they weigh about 17 pounds, and that just jacks up the cost. We sell them online for $35.99 a 12 pack. That's shipping included. I found good packaging that was relatively inexpensive, and nothing breaks. Everything is safe, so that saved a lot of money on that end. And at the average cost of shipping for what it is, sometimes you take a hit, but most of the times you're doing okay with that flat rate. So that's pretty much where I am. Finding the packaging, correct packaging to ship the bottles was my biggest hurdle, because they're glass, they're carbonated. If they jostle around, they're gonna pop off. Things like that. That was the hardest thing, and it ended up being like almost like an egg crate that they sit inside a box, and it works wonderful.
Yeah, I've seen that. It's almost a neat cardboard technology.
It's so simplistic. It doesn't. We were over there trying to wrap bottles at first and do stuff, and like, oh my god, this is great.
So I would imagine, though, in this time when people don't want to have contact and all that, that's a great resource for all of you is to be able to have that. So I look forward to ice cream shipping soon, Kate. I'm sure that'll be something for people to have. All right, so let's talk about moving forward. What do you see going into the holidays, into the winter? I'll have conversations and other shows with people who own restaurants and businesses like that. So we're going to have a whole big conversation about the weather. But do you think that's going to affect you or not? Amber, why don't you kick us off and tell us about hot beverages for the winter?
Yeah, I am hoping for an increase and something for it to continue to increase. I know for me, I am planning to do a holiday box. So once again, go back to shipping, just being conscious of how much does this box weigh, how much I need to charge per person. But a lot of it is really just being conscious because I do fund my business out of pocket. So I haven't had any grants or loans or anything like that. So even then, as much as I want to put out into my business, I still have to be conscious of, okay, I still need to pay taxes and everything else and reordering of ingredients and packaging and everything else like that. So I'm really trying to be as fiscally tight and responsible as possible, but definitely I'm focusing on the holiday box. I'm not doing any kind of markets. You will not see me in public. Also because I do not like being cold. So if I'm from Chicago, it does not matter. Cold is cold. I don't like it.
Yeah.
So for me, I just continuing the online sales. Like I said, for now, I have to, and really, like I said, for me, because I operate solely out of pocket, for me, it's truly an investment. So I have to invest extra money to order extra ingredients to prep for the hopeful jump in sales and for the holiday box. So prepping for that, that's been something I've been working on since July. Working with Heather Broman. She's an incredible package designer with designing the actual box and getting samples in so I can make sure it's the right size. And so it's a very long planned out project, but I'm hoping that really goes well.
Great. Kate, how about you with the winter and the holidays?
Well, we're just trying to get through Thanksgiving and use that as our baseline for Christmas. We have all.
Is that what the drinks over your shoulder there for to get to the holiday?
That's where we come when we're having a particularly rough day. No, we use those for flavorings.
Right, I
know. Yeah, we're just hoping to get through Thanksgiving and see where that leaves us for Christmas. And we're going to be expanding our holiday offerings to a couple other locations. So you should be able to get Wright's Dairy Farm pies at a couple other locations. The other thing we're trying to work with grow our customer reach is through What's Good, which is home delivery in Rhode Island and Mass. And we've been working with them since probably April. So we have bakery products on there and dairy products that get delivered to people's houses. And it seems to be working pretty well. So that's another thing that we're focusing on to get us through the holidays.
And ice cream, you think that'll carry through, or is it definitely slow down?
We have lots of plans right now for ice cream for next season. We're launching specialty pints, kind of started this month. November will be like our official 4-month release, our 4 flavor release, and then we'll do another 4 for December. And then we'll be starting to sell our Test Batch Club subscriptions, which we started last year, which was 13 weeks of trial flavors that you can only get as a member. And we're expanding that for this year. So that'll be like a great gift option for the holidays as well.
Fun. John, what does the next few months look like?
I really don't know. Just like Kate said, you kind of have to see what Thanksgiving brings, and hopefully you'll have an idea of what Christmas time and New Year's will bring. I mean, we really don't know. If you listened to the press conference today, we might be going back to phase 2 and things like that. I mean, I really have no idea. Just kind of have to go with the flow right now and hope for the best and prepare for the worst.
Right. No, the uncertainty is certainly the worst aspect of this in many ways. Just not knowing what you can do, and it's how do you plan your business when you just don't know what the business will be like. Amber mentioned earlier grants and things of that nature. I don't want to get too negative here, but I mean, how do you all feel the response has been in trying to help your businesses from federal, state, city level, and anything of that nature? Kate, what do you think?
I have to say that the Department of Health has been really great, and our myriad of questions, because every day it's a new scenario that we're dealing with. Someone came in contact, or someone was with someone and they were in contact, and who can come to work and who can't come to work. So I really feel like the Department of Health has been great. Every time we've called, they've followed up. They've given us recommendations in a timely manner. So I really have no complaints there. We don't really fall into any of the categories to cash in on any of the state grants. And we did get PPP money federally, but I mean, that's run out at this point, and we're really banking on a good holiday season to get us through the winter.
Amber, what do you haven't got? Have you applied for anything, or this is not something you're?
No, I saw some that I was interested in. It's just like, once again, my time. Being at work full time is just, even with the Restore Outright, I saw like everything that they wanted for. I was like, ooh, I need a minute to get this done. I just never had a chance to get back to it. I didn't qualify for PPP loans just because I had not started paying myself for my business yet.
Right.
So I didn't qualify for that, even though the money would have been incredibly helpful with me having to order so many ingredients at one time, just because I was so afraid that if I run out again, I can't afford for my business to lose traction that I have. And so I just had to put my own money in again. But even then, like, really, I think Restore Outright was the only grant that I saw that I was from the state that I was looking at to apply. Other grants I've applied for, but at this point, it's just so competitive because a lot of times you see a lot of small business loans and not grants.
Right. Yeah.
And so, of course, no one wants to be in debt to the government to keep your business on the speed. And so a lot of people are running to grants, and it was competitive before. It's incredibly more competitive now to apply for grants. And so you can write this 2-page long essay every month and you still don't get it.
There's not easy process for these things.
No. And with the Restore Outright, it's not just I write a little letter and I'm good to go. I could get it. No, they want a lot of details to receive that grant.
Now, I will say you should check it out again. They did simplify it a bit. I'm not a huge proponent of the system, but the Restore grant was a lot easier, and you could get about $5,000 out of them if you work it in. It's free money, so yeah. I think personally, I think our system has definitely failed small businesses. It doesn't seem, it doesn't seem right in many ways, but there is that there, so you should try and take advantage of it if you can, all of you. John, you and I have had this conversation. Yeah, tell us what you think.
I just think the Restore Rhode Island grants are pretty much a joke. They need to give businesses a real opportunity to get the money that they're holding on to that was meant for small businesses. There's like $700 million left that should be distributed to the businesses in the state, and they're offering people $5,000 or $15,000 or whatever it is, when companies are out there losing $10,000 a week. To me, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, no, it's a bad situation, without a doubt. I'd hope to end on an up note, but I just don't know that we can, to be honest with you. I don't want to, not be realistic with people who are watching this. The bottom line that I keep telling people who ask me, what can I do? Well, what I tell everyone, and I'm sure you'll all agree, is shop, eat out if you can, or take out. Spend your money basically in these small businesses and not in, the larger companies and chains out there. It's just, the reality of it is that businesses won't survive if people aren't spending their money in all your businesses and everyone else out there that is local. We kind of all know each other in Rhode Island, so we all know we can spend our money in each other's businesses. So it really is personal to a lot of us. So before we go, let's go around, and each of you, please tell everyone out there where they can find you, how to buy your product, and all of that. Amber, why don't you kick us off?
Yeah, so thank you. You can find me on Instagram at the Black Leaf PVD. Same for Twitter, and for Facebook is the name as well. The website is www.theblackleaftea.com. You can purchase your teas from there.
Thank you, Kate.
Yeah, you can find us in North Smithfield, Rhode Island. We're open Monday through Sunday. Monday through Saturday, we're open 8 to 7 p.m. Sunday, we're open 8 to 5. We are doing all car hops, so you can easily order online from our website and then just hop on over to our parking lot and we'll run the order out to you. You can find us online at www.wrightsdairyfarm.com. And then for iced cream, you can go to thewrightscoopri.com. And also we're on social media, Instagram and Facebook.
John?
Come to our factory store in North Providence on Mineral Spring Avenue. We're open 9 to 5 Monday through Saturday. And check out our website, yachtclubsoda.com, and on social at Yacht Club Soda.
Thank you. You can find me at Eat Drink RI on Facebook and Instagram. This episode is on YouTube where you're watching it now, but I'll also share it on eatdrinkri.com, and I'll link up everyone's business on eatdrinkri.com so you can easily get to them if you didn't catch it all as you were saying it. Amber, Kate, and John, thank you very much for your time today. I really appreciate it. It's good talking with all of you, and good luck with everything in the future.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.